Two extremely difficult challenges in Black Ops 3 involve the Mothership. I'm actually going to be covering both of these challenges in this video. The two challenges are Mothership Kills and the Support Gunner Kills. For the Mothership Kills challenge, you have to get 50 kills with the Mothership. For the Support Gunner challenge, you have to get 10 kills as a support gunner in the Mothership. These two challenges couldn't be any further apart when it comes to tactics. For one, you have to be skilled enough to earn enough motherships to amass 50 kills. And for the other, you have to have skilled enough teammates to earn more than likely several motherships. My goal of this video is to provide what I deem to be the fastest and easiest way to earn a mothership. By following my advice, even the lesser skilled players should potentially be able to earn one. This in turn should boost the number of motherships available to join in on for the support gunner kills. So first, let's do a mini review of the mothership itself. The supposed king of scorestreaks. The mothership moves in low over the battlefield and hovers above, allowing up to 2 players besides yourself to man turrets and unleash a barrage of machine gun and rocket fire on the battlefield. If you're like me, you've probably hardly ever seen anyone call one in, let alone pilot it yourself or take up a support gunner seat. So when piloting the mothership, this is what the control screen looks like. You can push the X button to change the camera, which toggles between an optic sight and an infrared one. The infrared sight is much better, as you can easily spot targets against different background cover. Pressing the L1 button can reposition the mothership to fixed locations around each map, albeit very slowly. The primary gunner has unlimited machine gun fire, so you'll never want to let up on the trigger. You can also zoom in with L2, again though very slowly. The sensitivity to move around while aiming is painfully slow. You have 4 rockets, but they fire in pairs, and they converge on a single spot, so it's essentially like one giant rocket, and you can press R1 to do this. The rockets recharge every 5.050 seconds, with an unlimited supply. Uncontested, the mothership lasts approximately 60 seconds. It's true that this streak can completely dominate an enemy team if left unchecked. However, it poses several drawbacks, which can also make it one of the worst streaks in the game when it comes to effectiveness based on point cost. The risk is simply not worth the reward. The truth is, this streak is incredibly weak for a 1700 score streak. I'll briefly address some of the shortcomings of the mothership, as you'll likely encounter at least one of these while going for the 2 challenges. So right off the bat, the streak can get taken down way too easily. Treyarch has buffed the mothership at least twice, but I feel that it's still way too easy. I myself have only had a mothership called in on me twice, in over 15 days played, and it just so happened that both times my enemy earned a mothership, I had a means to destroy it instantly. If you're quick on your feet and have a countermeasure in reserve, such as a Hellstorm missile, you can easily ruin the day of the person who called it in. Can you even imagine all that effort into earning one just to be taken down by a lower tiered streak? The mothership is just entirely too big. It takes up a huge portion of the sky and is clearly visible even without the engineer perk. It needs some kind of cloaking device like the Wraith has. Next, the zoom in aiming feature is entirely too slow. It needs to get closer, move faster, and actually hit where you're aiming at. The rockets and the reload time are also dreadfully slow. They need a larger splash radius, quicker movement, and a faster reload time. Lastly, and this is my biggest pet peeve about the mothership, it's completely map dependent as to how long it takes to show up. For example, on some maps it's fairly quick to deploy, such as on Exodus. It'll take about 4.183 seconds, and this is being extremely lenient when it comes to measuring techniques, as I'll explain in just a second. On other maps, the mothership shows up miles out of the map. In fact, you can hardly see where the map is until you're directly on top of it. Skyjacked, for example, takes 27.6 seconds to enter the map. That's almost half a minute. Do you know what you could do in 30 seconds time? Hell, you could fuel a wank in that amount of time. 27.6 seconds to enter the map before you can even hit anyone. What were they thinking? It's not just one fluke map that this happens on either. I went through all my mothership footage and timed them, and then I turned it into a table to show you how painful this can be. Here's the results. As you can see, some of the maps are much more suited for the mothership than others. The fact that sometimes it deploys in 5 seconds, and then other times it takes 10 to 27 seconds is ridiculous. So when I said I was lenient with my measurement techniques, I meant it. I stopped the timer as soon as I saw a player not using the blind eye perk light up in the red diamond shape. But this is not entirely accurate. There's a timer bar that appears in the top right corner of the mothership. The 60-second timer doesn't officially start until the ship reaches its first intended destination. Now remember, I stopped my clock way before that time. So if you want precise results, you can add another 8 seconds or so to all these times. Of course, I didn't do that because you can clearly still fire before reaching that starting point. But I just wanted to let everyone know my times are actually shorter than the exact times, which is even more ridiculous. If you don't think this deploy time matters, let me assure you it does. Watch this clip here on Redwood. It takes 25.717 seconds before my mothership is in firing range. So while I'm moving at the pace of a constipated turtle, all my enemies can clearly see me oafing my way towards the map. As such, as soon as I finally get to my deploy spot, I'm instantly taken out. And what did I get? 1 kill. That's it. I got 1 kill before I was taken out. For the best streak in the game, the fact that it's possible to get a mere single kill speaks volumes. This should never happen. I was so furious I had to go back into theater mode and see what had happened. As it turns out, it was a Hellstorm missile. The guy that got it hit the fracture lottery. He popped someone's cherry hoarding 10 core files and instantly got most of his streaks. By the time my mothership got into position, he knuckleballed his Hellstorm straight up my ass. So if I haven't scared you off yet with just how awe-inspiring the mothership is, let's turn our attention towards tactics for earning this behemoth. First, the key ingredients required for you to earn the mothership. You simply need 3 things. Number 1, the anti-up tier 2 perk. Number 2, the overclock tier 1 perk. And number 3, Seraph's combat focus ability. Now of course, there's more to it than that, but that's the Triforce to getting you there. Now depending on your skill level, we've got 2 different ways to fill out the rest of the class. First, the newbie booby class. If you feel that you have absolutely no chance of earning the mothership on your own, this is for you. So in addition to anti-up, overclock, and combat focus, you'll want to add the tier 3 perk engineer. For a secondary, you'll want the black cell launcher. Now as for a weapon, you'll want something you're comfortable with that only has 2 attachments. I prefer an SMG or an assault rifle myself. Pick any 2 attachments you want, with my preference being quick draw and grip. I also like to add a second tier 2 perk, typically favoring scavenger. For the last point, I recommend either the C4 or the trip mine, preferably C4. Now for score streaks, you'll want to run the hater, the power core, and obviously the mothership. Now just bear with me here for a second, and I'll explain each choice when I cover the tactics. Next, you'll need the ideal game mode to earn the mothership. Most people will likely tell you that domination is where it's at. However, this is not the best selection, and it's definitely not the best for people who don't normally earn higher up streaks. In all my research, I've found that kill confirmed is the fastest and easiest place to earn a mothership for all skill levels. In this clip here, it took me 13.9 seconds to achieve a hater, and that was without combat focus. Speaking of which, you need to understand the mechanics behind Seraph's combat focus. Most people think that combat focus simply doubles your score, but that's not entirely true. For example, confirming a tag without combat focus gives you 100 points. Now with combat focus, you get a 50-point bonus for a total of 150 points. If it doubled your score, you'd obviously get 200 points total, which is not the case. The same thing for a kill. Without combat focus, you get 50 points per kill in kill confirmed. With combat focus, you receive a bonus of 100 for a total of 150 points. It just depends on the action. I covered each and every action and the bonus provided in my combat focus review video. So if you're interested in all the numbers, I'll put a link in the description. So combat focus basically works as a bank. At maximum, it's possible to earn 600 points with combat focus active. That's it, no more than 600 points. So if you activate combat focus and kill 4 people in a row in kill confirmed, you'll get 600 points total, and the ability immediately ends since you reach the maximum points. So essentially, at maximum, combat focus can give you 400 bonus points if used to its full potential. Next up is mastering the activation of combat focus. This is crucial to earning your streaks. I've seen a lot of players pop combat focus when no one is around at all, and then they actively seek out enemies. This is the worst thing you can do. Watch here as I activate combat focus in the middle of a gunfight. This is what you need to practice and ultimately achieve. I go from being 725 points away from my hater to 100 points away due to the proper activation of combat focus, all in less than 5 seconds. In kill confirmed, there's a few ideal scenarios to activate combat focus. If you approach unsuspecting enemies from behind, if there's a ton of tags ripe for the taking, or if there's a lot of score streaks present in the sky. The ultimate goal is to combine all 3 of these things into your skill set. Since you'll have the engineer perk and the black cell launcher, don't be afraid to rack up the easy points from the safety of the back of the map. Once you have combat focus ready to go, observe for such streaks such as the UAV and the counter UAV. If you see more than 2 in the sky, shoot your rocket first and then activate the ability. Don't activate first, lock on, and then shoot. That just wastes time. Lock on, shoot, and then activate. If you've equipped the C4, don't be afraid to utilize this as well. Watch here as the Engineer perk allows me to see this talent. I toss my C4 and then immediately activate Combat Focus. The C4 blows up the guy as well as his Talon for a quick 325 points. Again, properly activating Combat Focus is the key to success here. The reason I recommend Scavengers should quickly become apparent. Not only will it replenish your C4, but it also restocks your Black Cell launcher, thus allowing you to shoot down more streaks for more easy points. For a lesser skilled player, the less you have to do with your gun, the better. So let's talk about the score streaks and their uses. Some people may tell you not to run all 3 high streaks for this challenge, but I found this is the best and most efficient way to go about it. Once you reach the hater, you can call it in to instantly become situationally aware. But even though you can see all present enemies, you still need to proceed with a bit of caution. Countless times I've seen people call in the hater and then rush into 3 or more of those spicy red Dorito chips and get cold-cocked into oblivion. Just because you see them coming doesn't mean you can take on more than one guy at a time. So once you get the hater, you'll only be 50 points away from the power core, which more than likely will just be awarded to you from the hater assist points. Now this is where things get hairy, and you'll have a few tough decisions to make. At this point, you'll be 450 away from the mothership. So you could call the power core in instantly and try to reap some of the power core assist points, all while still utilizing the remainder of your hater. Or you could hold off and see if the enemy may call in a score streak of his own. Now this is risky, but it could pay off big. If you hear the enemy call in anything, immediately deploy the power core. If you're lucky, whatever you destroy could raise you up to the mothership on its own. Now the other tactic is why I recommend the power core in the first place. The moth to the light mentality. Camp the power core once you deploy it. 9 times out of 10, you'll get a stampede of raving lunatics rushing aimlessly towards the light in an attempt to take it out. They won't even bother to check if you're nearby. This leads to easy points and lots of tags to collect. I often utilize this strategy if my hater has worn off and I still don't have the mothership. Staying relatively close to the power core and picking people off cautiously usually earns me the mothership. If it sounds easy enough, that's because it is. Just combine all these tactics together. You'll want to play normally to begin with, so if you do bad, you do bad. If you do good, that's even better. The tactics start once you earn your first combat focus. Remember, thanks to the Anti-Up perk, we're already 150 points closer to the hater every life. The goal of combat focus is to get us to the hater, which in turn chains to the power core and then to the mothership. Once you have your first combat focus, slow down your playstyle and choose your battles wisely. You can try to approach unsuspecting foes, activate it, and then kill them. You can try to activate it mid-gunfight and get some easy bonus points. You can activate it when you see multiple tags you're about to Pac-Man up, or you can activate it before destroying easy score streaks, such as the UAV. These bonuses, along with the free 150 points from Anti-Up, should give you a hater. Once you get the hater, don't run headstrong into a horde of enemies. Just relax and use your minimap to its full potential. Try to get some one-on-one battles. Remember, you know where they are and where they're coming from. You should then instantly get the power core, which you can then use to attract mindless enemies who want to take it out, or you can deploy it once you hear an enemy call in a score streak for easy points. It's at this point where you need to get a bit campy. The 450 points between the power core and the mothership can seem like an eternity. So if your hater is depleted, play it extremely cautious. I've probably died in this exact scenario hundreds of times, sometimes a mere 30 points away from a mothership. Don't forget to utilize the black cell anytime you see free points flying around in the sky. You can also use your C4 or trip mine for easy points as well, as not many people run the flak jacket perk and kill confirmed. If you're a more skilled player, I just wanted to mention another class setup that I use that excludes the C4 as well as the black cell, since those are more or less what I deem free points. This class is almost the same, but includes 3 attachments on your weapon. I replaced Scavenger with Fast Hands. Scavenger was primarily for replenishing the lethal as well as the black cell. I prefer the KN-44 with Grip, Quick Draw, and High Caliber. You'll still need Anti-Up, Overclock, as well as Combat Focus. The Tier 3 perk is up to you, but I still prefer Engineer since it helps you keep aware of pesky things that can ruin your high streaks, such as C4, trip mines, or even H.I.V.E. pods. The tactics are the same with this class, but it leans more heavily on gun kills as opposed to just randomly collecting tags or shooting down streaks for easy points. Lastly, let me briefly mention the support gunner aspect of this challenge. Since many of you probably haven't seen a friendly mothership before, let me tell you what you can expect and how you take over a support gunner turret. The moment your teammate calls in a mothership, a symbol of a mothership will appear in the exact spot where a care package obtained Scorestreak does, which is right on top of your highest score streak. The instant you see this icon appear, you have to hit the Scorestreak activation button, which is to just hit the right arrow. Only 2 people can join in per mothership, for a total of 3. If you thought the primary mothership machine gun was wank on the cob, this one is brutally worse. First of all, you'll notice that you obviously cannot move the mothership. That control is gone. You can switch between the optic and infrared sight by pressing the X button though. You can also still zoom in. The machine gun at your disposal has a limited fire rate. Whereas, if you remember what I said earlier, the primary turret has unlimited fire. If you hold the fire button, you can only shoot for 4.150 seconds before the gun overheats. And then you have to wait approximately 2 seconds before you can fire again. Knowing this, it's better to burst fire. Remember, you're competing with not only the primary gunner who has unlimited firepower and rockets, but also some other dillweed manning the other turret. As I mentioned, the hit detection on these support turrets is absolutely garbage. It wouldn't surprise me if it took most people 5 or more motherships before they got 10 support gunner kills. Some games though, you may get lucky and get a few kills. I think the most I ever got in a single support gunner turret is 5 kills. It doesn't help that oftentimes you'll get put in a half-assed support turret that's facing the wrong direction. You can't make this stuff up. So sometimes when joining in on a mothership, your seat will be backwards. Sure, you'll get a nice view of the countryside, but that's about it. Sometimes it'll position you so that you can see the battlefield, but you can't turn your gun far enough to hit anyone. And then it twirls you back around like a teacup merry-go-round so you get the scenic view again. What were they thinking? Your best bet is to tell the primary gunner, provided you know them of course, to not fire at all and let you get all the kills. One thing to note here, support gunner kills will not count towards the 50 mothership kills unless you have the mothership score streak unlocked. Let me just repeat that. If you unlock the mothership score streak, any support gunner kills you get will count towards the 50 kills. If you don't have the mothership unlocked, then any support gunner kills you get will not count towards the 50 mothership kills. And speaking of killing 2 birds with 1 stone, if you happen to call in your mothership while your power core or your hater is still active, any kills you get while in the mothership count towards the Eyes in the Sky challenge and the Down and Out challenge. The Eyes in the Sky is killing 100 enemies while a hater is active, and the Down and Out is 100 kills with the power core active. Of course, I don't recommend calling all 3 streaks in at once, since we're using the hater and the power core to chain into the mothership itself. But should you be in the sky when one of those first 2 streaks are still active, it's nice to know that the mothership kills do indeed count towards those challenges. And that, as they say, is that. Love it or hate it, the mothership is essential to getting the 100%er challenge in Black Ops 3. The 50 mothership kills and the 10 support gunner kills are simply roadblocks waiting to be destroyed in your quest for completion. Hopefully by utilizing the class setups as well as the tactics outlined in this video, even the lesser skilled players should be able to obtain a hater, which will chain into the power core and hopefully into the mothership. I wish I could tell you that it would be easy going from there, but due to the many drawbacks of the mothership, more often than not you'll get taken out abruptly, or you'll get caught with your pants down as it takes nearly 30 seconds to even enter the map. The support gunner is even more challenging since it requires other players to achieve the mothership. And even then, getting a kill while spinning around in a backwards merry-go-round, shooting marshmallows and competing with 2 other gunners is no walk in the park. Now you should know that I love to bring the community and my subscribers together, so feel free to post in the comments your gamer tag and your console if you're both willing and able to get a mothership for your fellow players. I also realize there's more tactics than just mine to earning a mothership, so if you think you have a better strategy or one that you think is helpful, post it in the comments. I'll pick the best few and make a follow-up video showcasing my subscribers' tactics. I'll also include the new game mode Fracture, which is a pretty decent game mode to earn higher up streaks, but we'll cover that in the next video. One way or another, I'll figure out a way to help everyone take a seat and experience the awe-inspiring mothership.